lalabas na sa simulation exam. So may 1 point na kayo. Letter C din yung sagot doon. Okay? So yan. Kaya lang, the way that we are discussing these problems, this is in relation with the laws of Gregor Mendel. Okay? Kung naalala nyo si Gregor Mendel, siya yung father of genetics. Okay? Yung wala siya magawa sa buhay niya nung nasa seminaryo siya. So he performed experiments using peas. Okay? And from his experiment, he was able to get the ratios of the genotypes and the phenotypes. Okay? Yung sinasabi ko sa inyong ratio kanina, na pwede mong sauluhin yung ratio ng mga cross, imbis na magpa-Punnett square ka pa. Pero I don't advise you to do that. Gawin mo na lang yung Punnett square, madali lang naman. Mas mahirap magsaulo. Okay? So anyway, dun sa experiment ni Gregor Mendel, meron siyang mga nakuha na ratio. Okay? So, yung problema lang dun sa mga ratio na nakuha niya, hindi siya palaging applicable. Hindi natin siya palaging nakikita. Okay? Kaya meron tayong tinatawag na non-Mendelian genetics. Okay? And an example of non-Mendelian genetics would be codominance. Okay? Kung naalala niyo yung example natin kanina, yung red at white petals, kapag meron kang heterozygote, color red yung characteristic, di ba? Kasi meron kang capital letter, so color red yung ipapakita niya. Kaya lang, kapag meron kang codominance, yung heterozygote, hindi lang siya basta color red. Ganito na yung itsura niya. Okay? What do you see in the picture? You have red petals, but you also have white petals. Okay? In codominance, both characteristics are manifested because both characteristics are dominant. Kaya nga siya tinatawag na codominance. Okay? Yung parehas na characteristic, dominant sila. So kapag meron kang heterozygote, parehas silang nagpapakita. Okay? Na meron tayong example ng codominance sa katawan natin, particularly when we talk about blood types. What particular blood type exhibits codominance? Sa tingin nyo, sino kaya yung blood type na nagpapakita ng codominance? Okay, si type AB. Bakit? Okay? Yung blood types kasi natin, meron tayong tatlong alleles for the blood types. You have the A allele, the B allele, and the O allele. Na yung A at saka B allele, sila yung dominant na alleles. Yung O allele, siya yung recessive. Okay? So, kapag nagkaroon ka ng type AB, since both A and B alleles are dominant, both of them are going to be manifested. Kaya nga, di ba, kapag type AB, meron kang parehas na A and B surface antigens on the red blood cell. Okay? Parehas sila nagpapakita kasi parehas silang dominant. And this is also the genetic basis of why blood type O is the universal donor. Bakit ba pwede natin i-transfuse yung blood type O sa iba't ibang blood types? Kasi nga recessive siya. Okay? Dahil recessive siya, hindi siya na-express. Wala nga siyang surface antigens, di ba? Kaya hindi siya nare-recognize na foreign ng katawan. Kaya pwede mo siyang i-transfuse sa iba't ibang blood types. Okay? So, kailangan yung tandaan yan. Favorite question yan. What non-Mendelian law of genetics is associated with type AB? Ang sagot doon ay codominance. Nag-exhibit siya ng codominance. Okay? Meron ako nakitang question. Pwede mo malaman kung ampun ka pag nag-blood typing ka ng parents mo? Oo, pwede. Kasi pwede rin i-Punnett square yun. Okay? Pwede mo rin i-Punnett square yung mga magulang mo. So kung medyo nagsususpetsa ka, feeling mo ampun ka, or nakuha ka sa basurahan sa ilalim ng tulay. So, alam niyo yung ano, kapag, well, ako kasi yung bunso sa pamilya. So alam mo yung kapag bunso ka sa pamilya, sinasabi sa'yo na, nakuha ka lang naman sa ilalim ng tulay, or nakuha ka lang naman sa basurahan. Sorry pero yun, medyo psychopath kasi yung pamilya ko. Pero yeah. So kung gusto mo malaman kung ampun ka, pwede mong i-Punnett square yung mga magulang mo. Kunyari, pero you have to take all genotypes into consideration. Kailangan mong i-take lahat ng genotypes. Kasi remember, kapag type A, type A ka, pwede ka maging AA, pwede ka maging AO. Okay? Kapag type B ka, pwede ka maging BB, pwede ka maging BO. Kapag O pa, edi OO pa. Kapag AB ka, edi AB ka lang. So you have to take all possible genotypes in consideration. Kung nagsususpecha kang ampun ka at gusto mong i-Punnett score yung sarili mo. Pero yeah, pwede mo siyang makuha dun sa genotypes ng blood types. Okay? May question, how about sa dogs po? Black and white ang parents, tapos the result is white and black spots. Is it codominance? Pwede. Pwede naman. Pwede mo namang i-consider. Oo, pwede. Kasi, oo, pwede. Pwedeng yung black, dominant din siya. Pwedeng yung white, dominant din siya. Hindi pinagsama mo sila, hindi magpapakita sila parehas. Pwede. Pero hindi ata yun yung genetics ng Dalmatians. Hindi ko masyado maalala, pero parang hindi yun yung... Hindi. Example ko lang yung kanina. Pero theoretically, pwede. Oo, pwede mong sabihin na codominance yun. Pero hindi ata ganun yung talagang genetics nung black and white dogs. Okay? In the same way that hindi ganun yung genetics ng calico cats. Are you familiar with calico cats? Yung mga tricolor cats. Di ba tatlo yung kulay nila? White, black, tsaka orange. Okay, tatlo yung kulay nila. And most calico cats are most calico cats are females. Yeah, it's very rare for calico cats to be males. Yung pinapresent ng calico cats, hindi siya codominance. Sex chromosomes yung may kinalaman doon. Okay? So it has something to do with the X chromosome in female cats. Pero hindi codominance yun. Okay? So may mga ganong klase ng characteristics. Parang hindi porket may dalawang kulay or tatlong kulay na nakikita, hindi ibig sabihin codominance yun. Parang dati may nagtanong sa akin, are you familiar with heterochromia? Yung magkaiba yung kulay ng mata. Kunyari yung isa color blue, yung isa color red. Color red, wow. Yung isa color blue, yung isa color green. Okay? Yung heterochromia, hindi yun codominance. Okay? That would have something to do with a particular mutation in your eye color, pero hindi siya codominance. So may mga certain characteristics lang na kino-consider na codominance. Pero yun. Depende siguro dun sa scenario. Ang dami ko sinabi, no? Pero depende dun sa scenario. Pero kung iniisip mo yung Dalmatians, parang hindi codominance yung nila, yung genetics nila. Kasi magkaiba yung genetics ng per pattern. May may iba't iba silang modes. May mga iba't ibang factors na nakaka-apekto sa kulay nila, ng fur nila. Yun. Nag-speech, ang dami ko sinabi, pero yeah. Okay? So, kailangan yung tandaan dito si codominance. May tanong ba kayo dyan sa concept na to? Wala? It gets worse. Joke lang. Hindi naman sa it gets worse. Kaya lang, hindi naman. Medyo complicated ng konti, yung pedigree. Medyo mas mahirap. Hindi naman siya mahirap. Medyo mas complicated siya kaysa dun sa Punnett square. Pero kailangan mo pa rin yung knowledge ng Punnett square dito sa pedigree. Okay? Now, in the NMAT, sometimes they would ask about the pedigree, sometimes hindi. Okay, so hindi siya favorite question, hindi siya kasing favorite ng Punnett square. Yung Punnett square, yun yung palaging lumalabas. Ito hindi masyado. Okay? Pero syempre, dahil meron siyang possibility na lumabas, pwede natin siyang, kailangan natin siyang i-discuss. Okay? So una, ang ibig sabihin ng pedigree ay family tree. Pero bago natin balikan yun, ano po yung multiple alleles? Ang multiple alleles, ang isang example nito, ito, yung blood type. The blood types also exhibit multiple alleles. Kasi di ba, yung characteristics na sinasabi ko kanina, yung mga example natin, yung red petals, white petals, black fur, white fur, presence of chlorophyll, absence of chlorophyll, palagi lang silang dalawa, di ba? Palagi ka lang merong dalawang alleles. Meron kang isang dominant, meron kang isang recessive. Okay? Pero yung sinasabi ng multiple alleles, more than 2 alleles yung meron ka para sa isang characteristic. At yung example nga nun, yung blood types mo. Kasi sa blood types, tatlo yung alleles mo, di ba? Tatlo sila. Dalawa yung dominant, isa yung recessive. Okay? That would also be an example of non-Mendelian genetics. Kasi kung susundan mo lang yung laws ni Gregor Mendel, dalawa lang yung alleles na kino-consider niya. Isang dominant, isang recessive. Okay? Pero syempre, that's not always the case. Okay? Kasi marami naman talaga tayong alleles for a lot of different characteristics. So yun lang ibig sabihin nito. Multiple alleles. You have more than 2 alleles. Naintindihan ba to? Nasagot ko ba yung tanong mo? Okay? May mga pahabol pa kayong question? Kung meron pa kayong pahabol, pwede naman kayong magtanong. Pwede naman natin balikan. Okay? O sige. Pero for now, magpo-proceed muna ako dito sa pedigree. Okay? So again, pedigree is a family tree. It's just an illustration of a family tree. And it shows you how characteristics are passed from generation to generation. So papakita lang niya, paano ba napapasa, paano namamana yung characteristics. Okay? Nasa isang pedigree, dahil nga ano siya, illustration siya, meron siyang mga symbols. And you have to be familiar with the symbols that are used. Okay? I'm only going to discuss 3 symbols. Meron kayong listahan sa book, pero 3 lang yung i-discuss ko. Okay? Number 1, when you see a pedigree, you should be able to identify the sex of the individual. Kapag circle, ito yung female. Kapag square, ito yung male. Okay? Number 2, you should identify the relationship between individuals in a pedigree. Dapat alam mo kung magkaano-ano sila. Okay? Kapag meron kang nakitang dalawang individual na merong line sa gitna, ibig sabihin mag-asawa sila, spouse. Okay? Kapag meron ka namang nakitang mga individuals na merong line sa taas, ibig sabihin magkakapatid sila, siblings. Okay? So, syempre, kapag nakakita ka ng ganito, ito yung isang pamilya. So, ito yung parents, tapos ito yung children. Yan. Okay? Wag na wag yung pagbabalik ka rin yung mag-asawa at magkapatid, ha? Okay? Baka mamaya magkaka kayo dyan, ma'am. Bakit ang dami niyang asawa? Bakit may kabit siya? Bakit may incest? Okay? Baka napagbaliktad niyo yung mag-asawa at magkapatid. Okay? So again, kapag mag-asawa, yung linya nasa gitna. Kapag magkapatid, yung linya nasa taas. Okay? And then the last one, you should identify which individuals are affected or not. Kapag nakita kayo ng color black, yung mga shaded na figure, okay? Ito yung affected individual. Ibig sabihin ng affected, this individual would possess the characteristics. Meron siya ng characteristics. Okay? Kapag yung color white lang, yung mga walang shade, okay? Ito yung unaffected individual. This person does not possess the characteristic. Wala siya nung characteristic. Na sometimes, although very rare, meron din tayong half-shaded figure. This would designate the heterozygote or tinatawag din siya na carrier. So pag nakakita kayo ng kalahati lang na shade, yun yung illustration para dun sa heterozygote. Pero hindi palaging ginagamit yung symbol na yan. Okay? Sa isang pedigree, we don't usually use the half-shaded figure to designate the heterozygote. Kadalasan, it's either just the figure is color black or the figure is color white. Okay? So, ito lang, yung 3 symbols na kailangan yung tandaan kasi paulit-ulit siyang makikita sa pedigree. Okay? So, pwede yung picturean to before we proceed. Okay? So kapag pedigree analysis, you have to be familiar with the mode of inheritance or the pattern of inheritance. Okay? Meron kasing certain characteristics na merong pattern kung paano sila napapasa, kung paano sila namamana. Okay? Although hindi lahat ng characteristics may pattern, but there are some characteristics that would have a pattern. Okay? So yun yung kailangang matutunan dito. What is the mode or what is the pattern of inheritance? Okay? Na para hindi kayo mahirapan, pay attention to the clues. Okay? Habang dinidiscuss ko siya, ang i-take note nyo yung clue. Okay? Kasi mas magiging madali siya if you're going to use the clues as a guide. So, ganun ulit, we're going to go through all of the definitions bago tayo magkaroon ng example. Okay? So, una, 2 lang. Yung mode of inheritance. Autosomal at paka-X-linked. Okay? Now, the difference between autosomal and X-linked would be the number of males and females affected. Okay? Kapag autosomal inheritance equal, males and females are affected by the characteristic. Kapag X-linked inheritance, not equal. Hindi magkapantay. Pwedeng mas maraming mga babae or mas maraming mga lalaki yung meron ng characteristic. Okay? Kaya nga nakalagay dito kapag autosomal, 50-50 ratio between men and women, there is no sexual predilection. Ibig sabihin, kapag autosomal, walang kinalaman kung babae ka or lalaki ka. You have equal chances of inheriting the characteristics. Okay? Pero kapag X-linked inheritance, meron ng kinalaman yung sex. Pwedeng kapag lalaki ka, mas mataas yung chances na ikaw yung magkakaroon ng characteristics. Or pwede naman kapag babae ka, ikaw yung may mas mataas yung chances. So, yun lang yung difference nila. Okay? Kapag autosomal inheritance, equal number of males and females affected. Kapag X-linked, not equal, it's either more males or more females. Okay? Pero yung dalawang yan, meron pa silang tigdadalawa. Autosomal dominant, autosomal recessive, X-linked dominant, X-linked recessive. Okay? Now, we're going to go through them one by one. Pero again, pay attention to the clues. Okay? Pero before we proceed, pwede niyong picturean yung slide na to. Meron din dito sa book, pero picturean niyo na lang din. I'll give you 5 seconds to do so. Okay? So, unahin muna natin yung autosomal dominant, autosomal recessive. Okay? Kaya siya tinatawag na autosomal dominant. The affected individuals are the ones that are dominant. And this is the clue. If you see a pedigree and you have an affected individual in every generation, most probably the inheritance is autosomal dominant. So, kunyari, ito yung pedigree, yung picture. Ito yung generation 1, generation 2, generation 3. In every generation, you have an affected individual. Sa lahat ng characteristic, dimples. If you have dimples, at least one of your parents or yung generation nila, meron ding may dimples dun. Okay? At least one of your grandparents or the generation of your grandparents should also have dimples. At kapag nagkaroon ka ng anak, it's highly possible that your children will also have dimples. Okay? Kasi yung dimples, palagi siya nagpapakita sa lahat ng henerasyon. Okay? At wala namang kinalaman yung pagiging babae at pagiging lalaki sa pagkakaroon ng dimples, diba? Okay? Kahit babae ka, kahit lalaki ka, you have equal chances of getting dimples. Kaya siya kino-consider na autosomal dominant. Okay? Yung naalala ko sa twins, recessive yung characteristic niya. Yung kasunod. Okay? Yung kasunod, yun yung naalala ko sa kambal. Okay? Pero yan, again, the clue is, if you see a pedigree, all individuals or all generations would have an affected individual, most probably autosomal dominant. Okay? So, pwede niyong picturean to para before tayo mag-proceed. Okay? Tapos ito yung recessive, autosomal recessive. So, again, this time, the affected individuals are the ones that are recessive. And this is the clue. You have skipped generation. Ibig sabihin, hindi sa lahat ng generasyon ipapakita yung characteristic. Okay? So, kunyari, this is the first generation, this is the second generation, this is the third generation. In which generation did the characteristic manifest? 1, 2, 3, or all of the above? In which generation did the characteristic manifest? 1, 2, 3, or all of the above? Ito lang, tama. Yung third generation lang. Sila lang yung affected, di ba? Isang babae, isang lalaki. Ma'am, ba't di kasama yung 1 at saka yung 2? Kasi heterozygotes yan, di ba? Kapag heterozygote, magpapakita sila ng dominant characteristic. hindi nga affected yung mga dominant dito, hindi sila kasama. So nagpakita lang yung characteristics sa third generation. Example nito, yung sinabi ng classmate nyo, yung twins, yung pagkakaroon ng kambal sa pamilya. Meron siyang kinalaman sa genetics. Okay? At autosomal recessive siya. Hindi naman sa lahat ng henerasyon may kambal, di ba? Okay? At depende, okay? Pero meron siyang patalon-talon ng henerasyon yung pagkakaroon ng kambal. Okay? Meron pang isang example, hitchhiker's thumb. Yung yung nakabali yung hinlalaki. May ganyan ako actually. Ang ganda yung itsura niya. Kaya nakabali yung hinlalaki mo. Kadalasan yung hinlalaki, ganito lang siya. Or ganyan. Okay? Pero yung sa akin, I can bend it almost 90 degrees or more. And I can also bend it backwards. Okay? So, yan yung hitchhiker's thumb. In my immediate family, ako lang yung may ganyan. Siguro kasi ampun talaga ako. Joke lang. Hindi ko alam. Pero recessive yung characteristic na yan. Hindi siya nagpapakita sa lahat ng generations. Yung attached earlobes. Recessive yung attached earlobes. Tama ba yung pagkakaalala ko? Oo, recessive yung attached earlobes. Yung nakadikit yung earlobe sa mukha mo. Like, literally sa gilid. Pag unattached siya, may space. Okay? Pero yun, recessive din yun. Unattached earlobes. Okay? Ma'am, if affected po ba, shaded yung symbol? Yeah. Kapag color black yung symbol, yun yung affected individual. Kapag color white siya, hindi siya affected. Okay? Ampun din ata ako, miss. O magsama-sama, samahan ng mga ampun. Okay, joke lang. Pero yan yung autosomal recessive. The clue is you have skipped generations. Okay? O pwede yung picturean yung slide na to. Yung sinabi ng classmate nyo kanina, ito, yung attached earlobes. O tama, recessive yan. Okay? So yun yung autosomal. Again, kapag autosomal, magkapantay lang yung babae at saka lalaki. Okay? Kapag X-linked, meron ang kinalaman ng sex. Pwedeng mas marami yung mga lalaki, pwede mas marami yung mga babae. Okay? So for example, kapag X-linked recessive ka, yung two dito, there are more males affected. Kapag lalaki ka, mas mataas yung chance na ikaw yung makakakuha ng karakteristik. And you have mother-to-son transmission. Ibig sabihin, if the mother is affected, 100% all of the male children are going to get the okay, magkakaroon ng karakteristik. Okay? Kung bibilangin nyo siya, meron kang 5 lalaki na affected, di ba? Yung babae, 3 lang sila. Okay? Example nito, color blindness. In the general population, mas marami mga lalaki yung color blind. Mas mataas yung chance na maging color blind ka kapag lalaki ka kaysa sa kapag babae ka. Okay? And if the mother is colorblind, all of the male children, all without exceptions, all of the male children are going to develop color blindness. Okay? Ganon din yung hemophilia. Kung familiar kayo sa hemophilia, it's a blood disorder wherein the blood does not clot. Ganon din siya in the general population, mas maraming mga lalaki yung may hemophilia. And it affects males more than females. Okay? May question dito, dun po sa equal ratio characteristic ng autosomal inheritance, kahit po different generations. Oo, tingnan mo yung buong pedigree. Yun yung tinutukoy nitong equal males and females. You look at the entire pedigree. It's not from one generation. So, kunyari dito, kung magbibilang ka ng males and females affected, you take into consideration the entire pedigree. Meron kang 3 lalaki na affected in the entire pedigree. Meron kang 3 babae na affected in the entire pedigree. At dahil magkapantay sila, autosomal. Okay? Ganun siya. So, kukunin mo lahat yung buong pedigree. Or parang dito, yung ginawa natin dito sa X-link, the entire pedigree into consideration. Merong 5 lalaki, 3 lang yung babae. Okay? Na-clarify ko yun. So it doesn't have to be from one generation. Yung buong pedigree yung titingnan mo. Okay? Yung Down syndrome, hindi siya hindi siya pattern of inheritance. Ang Down syndrome ay may kinalaman sa cell cycle. Cell cycle yung problema doon. Meiosis yung problema doon. Okay? Hindi siya genetic disorder. I mean, pwede mo siya i-consider na genetic disorder, pero hindi siya dahil dito sa patterns of inheritances. It's more on problems in the cell cycle, particularly the meiosis of the egg cell. Pero wala siyang pattern of inheritance. Ano meiosis yung problema niya? Pag Down syndrome. Okay? Pwede yung picturean ko. Sinabi ko ba yun na example last time? Or parang hindi? Hindi ko ata nabanggit yun, no? Nung nag-discuss tayo ng mitosis, meiosis. Baka hindi ko sinabi. Pero, yun. Last, X-linked dominant. Ang clue naman dito, mas marami ka namang mga babae. Balik lang. Okay, you have more females affected, father-to-daughter transmission. Kapag apektado si tatay, lahat ng anak na babae, magkakaroon ng characteristics. Okay? Example nito, ano naalala ko dito? Kung familiar kayo sa, ano nga ba yun? Rett syndrome, at saka yung fragile X syndrome. Okay? Kapag Rett syndrome, ang naalala kong characteristic nito, pwede ka magkaroon ng problems in speech. Like, yung motor speech, as in yung mismong pagsasalita. Okay? Yung Fragile X syndrome, para siyang developmental disorder. Okay? So, may problems in developmental disorder, particularly brain development. Okay? So, yung dalawang yan, example sila ng X-linked dominant characteristics. Pwede yung picturean nito. Okay? So, ma'am, paano na nga? Paano na nga tayo magsisolve ng pedigree? Ito na yung summary, para mas madali. Okay? When you see a pedigree, what do you do? Anong gagawin? Okay? Lalo na kapag pinapa-identify ka ng inheritance, what okay? First step, you count the males and females dun sa buong pedigree. Okay? So, bilangin mo muna kung ilang babae at saka ilang lalaki. Kapag magkapantay, yung babae at saka lalaki na affected, most likely, meron kang autosomal inheritance. Pero pag hindi sila magkapantay, mas marami yung babae, mas marami yung lalaki, most likely, meron kang X-linked inheritance. So, identify mo muna alin dyan sa dalawa. Okay? Kapag nakapag-identify ka na if it's autosomal or X-linked, saka mo problemahin, is it dominant or recessive? Okay? Kapag autosomal, ito yung clue. Autosomal dominant, the clue is you have an affected individual in every generation. Kapag recessive, autosomal recessive, skip generation. Ibig sabihin, hindi siya nagpapakita sa lahat. Okay? Kapag na-identify mo naman na X-linked ka, X-linked dominant, kapag mas marami kang mga babae na affected, X-linked recessive kapag mas marami kang mga lalaki na affected. So basically, when you see a pedigree and you're being asked for the inheritance, the first step, identify is it autosomal or X-linked. Second step, is it dominant or recessive? Yan lang siya. Okay? Now, yung mga clue na to, take note that they are just clues. They're not rules. Magkaiba yung clue sa rule. Okay? At dahil clue lang sila, hindi sila nakataga sa bato. Ibig sabihin, they are not true all the time. Hindi palaging totoo yan. Hindi palaging kapag autosomal, magkapantay talaga yung babae at lalaki. Hindi siya ganun. Pag X-linked, talagang marami yung babae, talagang mas marami yung malalaki. Hindi siya, it's not always like loose, na hindi palaging totoo yan, ha? Kaya ngayon sinasabi natin, what is the most probable inheritance? What is the most likely inheritance? Okay? Pwede yung picturean to, tapos mag-example tayo, paano ba ginagamit yan, ma'am? Or paano ba sila nagtatanong sa exam ng pedigree kung tatanong man nila? Okay? Pero take a picture of this first before we proceed. Okay? So magkaroon tayo ng dalawang example. Yung first example, madali lang. Yung isa medyo challenging ng konti. Okay? So, ito yung first example. Kunyari, meron kang ganitong pedigree. Okay. Ito yung first generation, second generation, third generation. Okay, I'm going to ask you a series of questions regarding this pedigree. First question, what is the mode of inheritance? Is it autosomal or X-linked? Dalawa lang pagpipilian ha. Is it autosomal or X-linked? What does the pedigree present with? X-linked. Paano nga ulit natin na-differentiate? Siyempre, kapag equal, yung babae at lalaki, most likely autosomal. Kapag 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 yung babae na affected, di ba? Yung lalaki, dalawa lang sila. Malayong mas marami yung mga babae kaysa dun sa mga lalaki. So, most probably, X-linked. Okay? Now, second question, anong klaseng X-linked? Dominant or recessive? Anong klaseng X-linked yung pinapakita dun sa pedigree? Ayun, X-linked dominant. Okay? Tama yung sabi nyo lahat kasi mas marami yung mga babae tsaka meron kang father to daughter transmission. Okay? O yun na. Yun na yung mode of inheritance mo. The mode of inheritance is most probably X-linked dominant. O diba, madali lang siya. Okay? So differentiate first. Is it autosomal or X-linked? And then after that, further differentiate, is it dominant or recessive using the clues. Okay? O easy. Third question. Ito na nga. Paano po kapag hinanap parents had another daughter? What is the percent chance that the offspring will inherit the characteristic? Ang sagot dyan. Actually, wala kayong kailangan i-solve. Kailangan nyo yung inheritance, yung definition, X-linked dominant inheritance. You don't have to solve anything. Okay, meron ako nakita, 100%, meron ako nakitang you have father to daughter transmission. If the father is affected, 100% all of the descent yun. Like literally lahat ng anak na babae. Okay? So pag nagkaroon pa sila ng isang anak na babae, automatic yun, affected siya. Automatic. So ang sagot dito, 100%. Wala kayong kailangan i-solve. Nakabase lang siya sa definition. Okay? Pero syempre, hindi palaging ganyan yung tanong. Kasi yung basis natin, definition siya, di ba? To answer yung question ng classmate nyo, paano kapag tinanong kami ng percentage, pwede kayo mag-Punnett square. Ganun pa din, gagamit ka pa rin ng Punnett square para makuha mo yung percent. 0% ba siya? 25, 75, 100%. Pero sa kaso na to, natin, automatic kapag apektado siya, wala tayong recessive. Kasi pag X-linked recessive, mother to son transmission naman siya, di ba? As long as affected yung nanay mo, automatic lahat ng anak na lalaki, 100%, magkakaroon sila ng characteristic. Magsusolve ka lang talaga kapag ano siya, kapag hindi ganyan, hindi yung ideal. na na scenario. Okay? Pero again, if you're going to solve it, Punnett square lang. Magde-derive ka lang ng genotypes, tapos i-cross mo sila. Degree. But this is something that you have to remember. Di ba kanina, kapag nagsusulat tayo ng genotypes, ito yung dominant, ito yung hetero, ito yung recessive. Okay? Kapag X-linked siya, okay, sinasama natin yung sex chromosomes kapag nagsusulat ng genotype. So, kunyari, kapag female, okay, ito yung genotype ng dominant na babae. Ito yung genotype ng heterozygote na babae. Ito yung genotype ng recessive na babae. Okay, so kapag X-linked inheritance, okay, when we write the genotypes, we include them in the sex chromosomes. Pero ganun pa rin naman yung designation, di ba? Parehas na capital letter, small letter, parehas na small letter. Ganun pa rin, lalagay mo lang sa sex chromosome. Pero kapag lalaki, yung tanong ko, is it possible for males to become heterozygotes in X-linked inheritance? In X-linked inheritance. Kasi kapag babae pwede, or no. O pili lang kayo ng isa, pwede kayo manghula. Is it possible for males to become heterozygotes in X-linked inheritance? Very good. Meron kayong tama. Tama naman kayo lahat ng sagot. The answer is no. Okay? Your classmates provided an explanation kasi isa lang yung sex chromosome, ay yung X chromosome ng mga lalaki. Okay? Kaya nga siya tinatawag na X-linked inheritance. The gene of interest, the X chromosome. Tama, gene interest is X chromosome. Good. Okay? So, kapag lalaki, it's either you are dominant or you are recessive, but you can't have both. Kaya hindi natin lalagyan ng hindi natin lalagyan ng chromosome, naman kasama yung Y chromosome. Okay? So either dominant ka or recessive ka, pero hindi pwedeng parehas. Okay? So no, males can never be heterozygotes in X-linked inheritance unless meron kang genetic disorder, XXY, yung sex chromosomes mo or kung ano man. Okay? Pero in normal circumstances, hindi pwede. Siyempre, kapag autosomal, pwede sila maging heterozygote kasi wala namang kinalaman sa sex chromosomes yung autosomal. Okay? Pero pag X-linked, hindi pwede. Okay? Kailangan yung tandaan to, ha? Yan. Okay. Pwede yung picturean to, tapos let's have another example. The next example is a little bit more difficult. Hindi naman talaga mahirap, pero mas challenging sa kaysa dito. Pero picturean nyo muna. Okay? Nagsagot ba kayo ng... Hindi ko alam kung nabigay sa inyo na assignment yung quiz number 2. Hindi ko sure. Pero kasi dapat assignment yun. Yung biology quiz number 2 at yung chemistry quiz number 1. Nabigay. So, sinagutan nyo ba? Or hindi? Kung hindi yung sinagutan, wala namang problema. Mas madali lang for all of us if you were able to answer it. Kasi we don't have time to answer it anymore. Kaya nga binibigay siya na assignment. Okay? Pero kung hindi yung nasagutan, okay lang naman. It's just that I'm going to use one of the items there as an example. Yung number 14. Okay? This is the most difficult question in the quiz. Okay? If you can answer this, very good. So, kung hindi kayo nagsagot ng assignment, sagutan nyo tong number 14 ngayon. Okay? But I'll help you answer the question first. Sabi niya, hemophilia is an X-linked recessive disorder. Okay? What could be the possible genotypes and phenotypes of the parents? So, yung mga magulang, pinapahanap siya. Okay? Kaya medyo mas challenging yung problem na to kasi pabaliktad ka magsusolve. You have to get the children in order to get your parents. Kasi remember that children are just random combinations of your parents. So kapag pinagsama-sama mo yung mga anak, makukuha mo yung mga magulang. Okay? So, ito yung anak nila. Ito, at saka ito. Well, let's derive the genotypes first. Okay? Because hemophilia is X-linked recessive, it means that the recessives are the ones that are affected. Okay? So the first son is not affected. So malamang dominant na lalaki na yan, siya yung may hemophilia. So siya yung recessive. Therefore, siya yung affected. Okay? The first daughter, half-shaded figure. Kapag half-shaded figure heterozygous, last daughter is not affected. So, most probably dominant siya. This is the clue. How do you get the parents children? How do we inherit our Kapag lalaki, yung X nakukuha sa nanay, yung isang